Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 BMW S1000 XR. Huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this bike for me today. Take a look at their website. They're always getting in some very cool inventory. That link is down in the description. So this S1000 is finished off in gravity blue metallic. They have a starting MSRP right around $18,000, and this model also features the premium package. So that MSRP is bumped up to right around $21,000. Now, powering this BMW is a 999cc oil and water cooled 4-cylinder 4-stroke. It's paired to a 6-speed. It's chain driven to the rear wheels. Total weight is right around 500 pounds. It can do 0 to 60 in as quick as 3 seconds. Top speed is 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 5.2 gallons. You'll expect to see around 45 miles per gallon or a total range of around 200 miles. This also has a wheelbase of 60.9 inches. Its overall length is 84.8. It has a width of 33.5 and a seat height of 33.5 inches as well. Now, as we work our way to the front, you'll notice that this has a pretty large windshield on it. Looks like it is adjustable, so that way you can use that as needed. There's also a set of LED headlights up front with that split design, along with all the bodywork surrounding it. And this also has LEDs for the turn signals. You'll notice that those are on the sides of the bike there. Also up front, this has the telescoping fork, 45 millimeter in diameter. There's also the adjustable rebound and compression for them. This has travel of around 5.9 inches for the front and rear. And also up front, this has a twin disc brake. They're 4-piston fixed calipers, and you'll notice those on both sides with a really nice yellow accent on the rest of that wheel there. You'll notice the large XR badge along with BMW S1000 is just above that. And then there's also what looks to be some added fog lights in the lower section there. So you can use this as a multi-purpose bike basically. You could take it off the pavement if you wanted to. You can stand up on this. It's almost like a dirt bike for the streets. You'll also notice that this has, looks like an aftermarket exhaust with that dual exit over on that right side there. And then in the back, this has a single disc with 2 pistons for those calipers. You'll notice that we have that double swing arm design, the chain of course, and then a nice design for those wheels too. And then in back, there's the license plate bracket along with the LED turn signals. There's also a key spot there, so that way you can pop up the seat for additional storage. With this premium package, you also get this added cargo spot if you don't have a rear passenger. Now, the premium package also provides you with the hand protection. So if you do take this off the trails, you can have your hands better protected, of course. There's a luggage rack, cruise control, heated grips. There's also a center stand, and then those fog lights are part of that package as well. And then you'll notice too another S1000 XR badge and BMW badge with the carbon fiber on that gas tank there. Now, as we take a look at all of the controls now, we do have another bag here, and then we have the key fob for this BMW. There's actually the key, so you can use that for areas like that and the fuel, and then we do have a lock button, so you can actually lock this from the key fob itself. There's no actual place to insert the key. We almost have push button start. So as long as you have the key on you, you can just push on that and bring all the electronics to life. And then from there, we have the engine start stop control on this right side, and if I hold it down, we can start this up. And coming back to this digital gauge cluster now, we have quite a lot that we can go through. Now, I had to shut the bike off so that way you could hear my audio. So we do have some controls that are lighting up there that wouldn't do that with this bike on. Now, if we start over on the right side, this is your throttle along with your front brake. There's also the heated grip control. So when you push on that, you will notice that there's 3 different settings in that lower section that you can go through as needed. There's also a mode button, so when you push on that, you can go through the different driving modes. There's Dynamic, Dynamic Pro, there's also a rain and road setting as well. And then you have your kill switch, of course, to shut this off. You have a rear view mirror there. And then over on this left side, we have the clutch. So this is how you will shift gears, of course. There's also cruise control, along with being able to flash the high beams. There's also the hazards too, and then you have some more controls underneath that. So you can actually push on the suspension one to go through a dynamic or road. There's also an auto setting as well. And then you have your turn signal stock, horn underneath, and then a menu control, as well as the headlights there. Now you do have this scrolling dial that you can use with the menu control. So as you can tell right now, let's go all the way in the up position where we have the Dynamic Pro screen. You'll notice there's the tach, what gear you're in, miles per hour, and you have a few other vitals. If I scroll down on the menu control, now we can go into My Vehicle and you can look at some of these vitals. You'll also be able to use that rotary dial to bump over to the right. So you can go through all of this vital information so you can take a look at it, use the menu button, and you can go back and then bump over to sport mode. Now when you go down into sport mode, you will notice all of these gauge cluster settings here. You can also go into the navigation as well as your media. You have phone that you can hook up to, and then you can go into a lot of different settings. You'll use that rotary dial to go up and down now in order to go through the rest of this information. And so you have quite a lot that you can go through with that screen. Looks like there's an aftermarket phone holder or some kind of unit on that windshield as well. But with all of those specs out of the way, let's get this BMW out on the road and see how it drives. All right, so let's fire up the BMW S1000. Now this is much different than my CBR 600 in the fact that we have more of this kind of all-purpose bike. This is something that you might be able to take off the pavement. It has more of that dirt bike vibe, so you can stand up on it. You can be a little bit more comfortable for more cross-country type of riding. And honestly, coming from my bike, it's definitely a lot more comfortable. You sit very upright like you would on a dirt bike. So if you have any experience with dirt bikes or some other rides like that, you sit very upright, which is very nice, especially for longer rides. I'm in a good seating position where I'm not too bent over, so I don't feel like my legs will get really numb on a long ride. But you can also, stretch your legs well. You can stand up too, so that way you can cruise, just stretch while you're actually riding too, which is of course great. But as far as riding this, it seems very nice. There are a lot of controls to go over, but you would get used to it like anything else. I don't have any digital screens on my bike, so it's more old school, but we even have ABS and some other traction aids like that for this bike, which you can turn on and off depending on the mode that you are in. So let's go down to third gear, where we do have the gear indicator as well, which is nice. We'll give it a small acceleration. It's not a loud bike either, so it's definitely going to be enjoyable where we're just listening to the wind noise and just going for a nice cruise. I could see this being a great two-person bike as well, especially coming from my CBR 600, more of a sport bike, which I have my wife on the back of that every now and then. It's okay. You could go 120 miles or so comfortably with two people, but any farther than that, it's just not the best kind of road bike. So I've honestly been looking for something similar to this, just to give me more of a comfortable ride, especially with all the gear that I have. This model has the bag on the back, which is going to be different options just depending on what you'd like to put on your bike. But it's definitely nice. I like this style because it reminds me of the dirt bikes that I grew up riding and racing. Just something for the streets. Now this does have a pretty heavy curb weight to it, close to 500 pounds with everything. So if you're taking this off the pavement, it's just something that you'll have to get used to, of course, just because that is a lot of weight, especially when you have some unsettling terrain like dirt, gravel, something like that. You could take this on some gravel roads and be fine. And having the benefit of the handlebars so high up really helps you control the bike that much more. And even with its 500-pound curb weight, it's about 100 pounds or so more than my bike. You really can't feel it. Like I can get used to this fairly quickly. And at 5'10", it's a good riding bike. I'm not really high on my feet when I come to a stop, so it's easy to manage, especially at stoplights and slower speeds, things like that. But it's super nice. It's a really comfortable bike to be on. The fact that we even have cruise control as well, which is something that I don't have, That's really cool, because then you can give your right hand a break there when you have that set and activated, especially on a long cruise. Heated grips are going to be great for colder weather like it is right now. If you're getting a bike like this, I would definitely go with the 1000, just to give you that added power, especially with the weight of this bike. Even from 6th gear, we had a small pull there. Let's put it into the road mode now. Now, I'm assuming this does some more suspension tweaks. You have different throttle response, things like that. I'm not really testing the full potential today, but it is nice, especially in the rain. I ride in the rain. I don't plan on it. It just happens. So rain modes are definitely nice. That way you can, stay on 2 wheels and enjoy your ride. That is going to wrap it up, though, for the 2024 BMW S1000. Once again, huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this bike for me today. Take a look at their website. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.